FFPC Big Gorilla back for another live draft. FFPC Big Gorilla back for another live draft. Fantasy Savvy on X. Little preseason action tonight. Starts with Anthony Richardson dislocating his pinky finger and plays 2 drives, is out, hurt once again. So we'll see if it's fractured, how long he's going to be out. But anyway, we're here to draft tonight. Tight end premium on FFPC. We're mixing these high stake drafts around. So this is another one tonight. More player analysis, more training camp news as we go through this draft, discussing strategy, ADP, bust value, sleepers, all that. So head to the comments. You guys want to talk anything fantasy football, we'll get into it. And that's it. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the show. Once again, follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. We'll come back. We'll get into the draft strategy. I'm had the 12th pick. So far, I took Brian Thomas and Trey McBride. Fantasy Savvy on X. Like, subscribe, share. Let's go. Welcome to the Fantasy Savvy Weekly Show with your host, Steve D'Angelo, discussing high-stakes fantasy football, NFL picks, and much more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, we're back. Draft board on the screen. Preseason in full swing tonight. Again, started with the Colts. Anthony Richardson getting the nod over Daniel Jones. Starts out a couple, passes to Tyler Warren. He's 2 of 3. And then he gets blitzed. I guess they slid the protection to the left. He's doesn't read hot. He's, basically gets like 2 seconds, maybe 2, almost 3 seconds, probably about 2 seconds, and he just gets whopped. Blitz off the edge, untouched, and comes down, dislocates his pinky. First, thought maybe it was his shoulder or his hand, but it was just his pinky. So we'll see how long he's out. But again, another bad start for Anthony Richardson. Every time this guy's on the field, seems like he's always getting hurt. Looked decent. A couple throws that he had. One throw, corner made a good play, but he probably maybe could have got out a little longer, almost picked off. Daniel Jones, he kind of looked the same to me, dinking and dunking, those a bunch of short passes. Keaton Mitchell looked really good. So did Rashawn Ali, looked good. So you're looking for a handcuff, or, you're drafting in best ball leagues, or really deep best ball leagues, a guy like Rashawn Ali, but Keaton Mitchell definitely is worthy of a best ball pick, or even in redraft, a deeper league as a backup. We'll see how much more he plays over Justice Hill, but, he'll probably get into the mix. I mean, he looked really good tonight. So, Bengals also, they start Burrow. He gets off to a good start hitting Jamar Chase for a big touchdown, curl route. Chase, does his typical curl route and then runs past the defense for a touchdown. Another touchdown to Tanner Hudson, the tight end. All right, I'm on the clock here, 12th spot. So we went with McBride and Brian Thomas earlier. Breece Hall is there. I'm going to take Breece Hall with one of my picks. I really like Breece Hall now in the 3rd round. I just think he's a great value. Mike Evans, DK, Terry McLaurin, Rasheed Rice. Started to take Mike Evans, but I haven't gotten a lot of George Pickens. I keep missing out on George Pickens. So I'm going to take Breece here. You still have Lamar and Josh Allen on the board as well. But this is only 4 points for a passing touchdown. But still, you get an elite quarterback. But still, it's hard to pass up on Mike Evans. Just so solid every single year. But, I'm not going to get Pickens if I let him go. Maybe. Maybe there's a chance he'll come back to me, but I doubt it. And I already took a tight end, so it's kind of hard to build your team when you take a quarterback and a tight end the first few 4 rounds. I'll take Mike Evans. How could you really go wrong? I mean, 1,000 yards every single year. Yeah, he's getting older. He's still just 31. He could still do everything he pretty much does throughout his career. Baker keeps getting better. Godwin's going to be out probably. I think Godwin, we'll see. It doesn't sound like he's going to be back week 1. So, I like it. Again, I like getting Pickens. I like getting Jameson Williams. I think Jameson Williams is going to have a huge year. But I'm happy with Brees. Wasn't really drafting him early on. But, and I'm just trying to remind myself because last year was kind of a down year for Brees because of where he was going in the first round. But to me, when I went back and watched all his carries, I thought he looked good. I mean, people said he looked washed, whatever, but I didn't really see that. I saw a lot of terrible blocking, getting tackled in the backfield, especially down the stretch. The Jets basically just gave up, but he still had a lot of big plays, especially in the passing game. We also have seen the clip of Aaron Glenn talking to Brees saying this is how you're going to get your big plays and get your work into the passing game. And that's, Jahmyr Gibbs was electric in the pass game, and the Lions were smart to get him more involved in the pass game last year. So I think we're going to see Brees getting more involved now in the pass game. Whenever you take a Jet player, it's always, you never know what the hell is going to happen, no matter how good it looks. You never know what the hell is going to happen with the Jets, but at least they have a capable backup in case something happens to Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor at least can manage an offense. Offensive line should be improved. Better offensive coordinator play, you would think, than Nathaniel Hackett. So, and then Mike Evans, it's a pretty safe pick. You know what to expect. We should get another 1,000 yards, and we could get another, double-digit touchdown season from Mike Evans as well. So, feel pretty good about that so far. But let's talk about a little bit more about the preseason again. Philly currently winning 34-27. Did take Philly. I think they were getting 6 in this game, but I did take the Colts, but that didn't end well because Richardson got knocked out. And the Ravens were just running all over them, whether it was Keaton Mitchell or Ali. And the Colts defense, the Colts just, they looked at his sorts. And Harbaugh, I mean, I think he has one of the best, or if not the best preseason record. So, they were getting 6.5, but, it just goes to show you don't bet against Harbaugh. Joe Burrow comes out, 2 touchdowns. Again, they want to start fast, so they threw him out there. My daughter's banging on the door, so I didn't open the door. Juju, I'm doing a show. You gotta get your what? I don't know. She got to get something. I don't know what she's talking about. I just had to wipe her butt before. She's only 4 years old. Anyway, Burrow, yeah, they wanted to start him out fast, so they get him out, and he starts out fast. 9 of 10, $123. I don't know if Philly had their start. I probably had their backups back there, so it was like light work for real for Burrow and Chase. T. Higgins got 1 target, didn't do anything. Tanner Hudson, 5 catches, 61, 2 touchdowns. But you have Gesicki there. You also have Noah Fant. But Tanner Hudson, I do kind of like. He has played well. Chase Brown tonight, 5 carries for 23 yards. Taj Brooks, not doing so great so far. 10 for 26. Game's about over. 1 catch for 3 yards. Chase Brown catches 3 balls for 25 yards. But, Zach Moss is out of the way. There's nobody really else besides Samaje Perine. So, a lot of people were taking Taj Brooks. On the other side for Philly, No start for Hurts. Tanner McKee, who, he kind of played well, and I think he had 1 or 2 starts last year. Very efficient again tonight, 20 of 25, 252, 2 touchdowns. So it looks like he has the backup job over Kyle McCord. Dorian Thompson-Robinson stinks. Kyle McCord, everybody kind of liked him. There goes Seattle for the touchdown. I did take Seattle as well. Holani, big run. But Kyle McCord, 1 of 5 and a pick. So, Tanner McKee, pretty solid. So if you're in a super flex league, you want to make a late pick, something happens to Hurts, he ends up in a really good situation. Will Shipley, most likely to direct backup for Saquon. Although you have Kenneth Gainwell there, you have A.J. Dillon, but he goes 7 for 48. Sorry, not Kenneth Gainwell. He's gone. A.J. Dillon, rather. 5 for 27 for Dillon. None of the starters played. Darius Cooper, 6 for 82. Johnny Wilson, big receiver at FSU, 3 for 73. But it looks like the Eagles are going to, win that game and cover in that game. And then we have right now going on Las Vegas versus Seattle. Aiden O'Connell gets the start. Gino actually throws 3 passes, 1 of 3 for 15. Ashton Genty, 3 carries for -1. Everybody freak out and, push him to the second round maybe now. We'll see. Dante Thornton Jr., 1 catch for 17. He's been getting a lot of hype. Big speedster from Tennessee. He can kind of open up an offense for sure. A guy you definitely have to pay attention to. Jack Betch catches 1 ball for 5 yards. Trey Tucker, 1 for 15. Jacoby Myers with a target, no catches. Nothing notable for Seattle. Besides this Holani guy, 7 for 60. Almost gets into the end zone. It doesn't. I guess they rule he was in, or maybe he got tackled at the 1. And then Damian Martinez, rookie running back from Miami, 1 carry for 5 yards. This Holani guy. If anybody knows about anything about him, I don't know. I'll have to check him out. But 7 for 60. So, you want to pay attention to these preseason guys. You never know, at some point in the season, these guys may be, get an opportunity. And then you know how much fab to spend based on, what you've seen in the preseason. I know Chad Schrader, probably the best high stakes player. He says he watches all the preseason games. So, it sounds like it's a good process. I mean, I try to watch as many as I can. I can't say I watch all of them, but I think what that strategy does, and what that helps you with, is just identifying, maybe certain tendencies in the offenses, and then the players that you could pick up later in the year that flash in the preseason. Elijah Arroyo, 1 catch for 10 yards, tight end rookie out of Miami. So, nothing of note there. 6-0 Seattle. They were underdogs in this game. I did take them as well. But Indy's going to fail me. Did a little 3-team parlay. Indy's going to fail me there. But looks like I may hit 2 out of 3 here for the preseason picks. Took them straight as well. All right. So we are moving along. Let's talk about this draft. Enough of the preseason. I think we covered it all. But the big story, again, Anthony Richardson dislocating his finger. That's been a big issue for him. So we'll see how long he's out. But once again, Daniel Jones gets the edge. He didn't look that great. He almost threw a couple picks, some drops too, but a lot of balls low, high, typical what we've seen from Daniel Jones. And then Riley Leonard came in, and he didn't look that great either. So we'll see what happens with the Colts. Didn't look so great though. Tyler Warren did look good, actually. The one thing I got to comment, he kind of looked smooth, and he was getting a lot of targets early on. All right, I'm coming back up, and then we'll talk about some of these builds so far. But you guys can see the board here. So far for me, Brian Thomas, McBride, Breece Hall, Mike Evans from the 12th spot. This is not third round reversal like NFC is. So I did not get the first pick of the 3rd round like in 3rd round reversal. Quarterback's still there. Jalen Daniels is gone. Lamar is gone now. Allen, Hurts is gone as well. Here is a back. I don't know. I don't know if RJ Harvey's going to last to me, but I haven't been getting him. But I will take him if he's there because I have not been getting any RJ Harvey as of yet, besides best ball. Um, and he's going to be there for me. So I'm going to take RJ Harvey. Here's my second running back. And again, you only have to start two receivers in this format. It's two running backs, two receivers, and two flex. So you can start three tight ends, four running backs, four receivers, but you only need to start two. So it's not like you're starting three and you have to grab these guys. So both rookie backs are staring me in the face right here: RJ Harvey and Caleb Johnson. Calvin Ridley, Travis Hunter, Jerry Jeudy. All right, let's take RJ Harvey. Sam Laporta, man. I mean, the tight end premium, 6th round. Again, this guy was going first, second round in this format. I just think he's being undervalued in drafts, and he's a good value. And again, I could start up to 3 tight ends. So I feel like at this point in the draft, I do like Hawkinson too. But I got to grab one of these guys here. Receivers probably won't look pretty on the way back, but I'm going to grab Sam Laporta. And get my second tight end here in this format. So we have the 12 personnel team with Trey McBride and Sam Laporta. Again, Sam Laporta in the 6th round. I'm happy to get RJ Harvey, couple him with Brees Hall. Again, listed 5th on the depth chart behind Blake Watson. Give me a break. I know J.K. Dobbins is there. You probably won't find many other guys that root for J.K. Dobbins more than me, and have drafted more J.K. Dobbins more than me. And I will be, I've been taking a lot of J.K. Dobbins, but it's going to be like a 1-2 punch with those two guys. Harvey's going to be the guy in the passing game. And, you put on Harvey's tape at UCF, which I'm kind of pissed about. I wish I paid more attention to college football, which I'm trying to do more and more every year. I kind of wait till after the year's over, and then I watch, all their snaps and as many players as I can, many relevant players that I can. But he played at UCF. I live about an hour from the campus. One of my cousins is actually going there to play baseball now. So I'm going to try to get to some more of their games, but I wish I would have went last year to watch RJ Harvey. They're actually playing North Carolina September 20th. So I, go watch Belichick. But yeah, RJ Harvey tore it up there, man. I mean, he just absolutely tore it up. He's electric. I mean, he's a little bit different. So Peyton, man, between taking Harvey and Pat Bryant, another guy that seems a little different. Then you bring in Ingram, and then Bo Nix is blocked into that system. They draft the Texas corner, I think they had a great draft. Peyton is on his game. I don't know. The altitude is helping him out there in Colorado over there, but I think Denver, they should be a really, really tough out once again, unless Knicks just really crumbles. But based on, the additions they made in the offense and defense, I just don't know if I see it. I just feel like Denver should probably be even better. So they're going to be a very, very interesting thing to watch. And RJ Harvey, again, I haven't had any shares of him in any of these high stake leagues yet. So I'm happy to get my first one here in the FFPC Big Gorilla. But 10:47 here on a Thursday night. Watching Aiden O'Connell throw for the Raiders. He made some starts last year, came in for Gardner Minshew. Look at his bomb too. and he just gets picked off trying to throw a bomb. I believe it was to Thornton on the left side of the field, probably like 40, 50 yards. Yeah, I think it was Thornton. He was locked up, though. Corner was all over it. But the ball was well underthrown. So, if you would have let him, Thornton probably could have used his acceleration, but the ball was underthrown badly. It's a terrible throw. Gets picked off. But it was to Thornton. Let's see this route by Thornton. He just kind of running straight. Little inside move. But, he played in that. Yeah, I mean, he actually had the guy beat. It was just a terrible throw. I mean, he kind of. I mean, the corner could have made. Yeah, I mean, the corner was kind of there. I mean, the coverage was pretty good, but still, like, if you would have let him, maybe could have did something. But yeah, again, Thornton played at Tennessee. Those wide spread splits they play, that weird offense, and it's a little bit different. I mean, he's just kind of like a deep threat. He doesn't really run. His route running isn't that great in general, but he's definitely a weapon for sure. I just don't know how much of a consistent factor he can be in fantasy. That's why I feel like, Jack Betch is not getting really much of the hype, but I feel like he is. And Thornton's starting to get drafted over him or around him. But I still prefer Betch. I think Betch will show out eventually during the season. But again, you got Bowers, you got Genty, you got Jacoby Myers. So there's a lot of guys around. But anyway, terrible throw by O'Connell. He came in for Gardner Minshew last year. It was just a shit show with those two quarterbacks. So Geno, the Raiders offense, I kind of like their trajectory. But so far, he only threw 3 passes. And it's a preseason game, so first one of the year. All right. Let's talk about the board here now. The only person who took Team 2, Prestige Worldwide 2, takes Kittle in the 3rd and Kelsey in the 6th. Kittle usually goes like in the 4th in a regular draft, bumped up to the 3rd here. Beginning of the 3rd round. I took McBride at the beginning of the 2nd round. Bowers goes 4th overall. Bowers is going to have a huge season to kind of pay off that draft spot. Probably even better than last year. But, I guess he's capable of it. But either way, it's a solid pick in tight end premium. But still, I think you prefer Jefferson, a Saquon, to take him over Saquon and Jefferson, even CeeDee Lamb, Neighbors, Christian McCaffrey. I think he kind of deserves to go towards the end of the round rather than 4th. Not taking him 4th overall, even in tight end premium. And everybody else has just one tight end. So team 1 doesn't even have a tight end yet, but I do like their team actually. Besides the Rashee Rice pick, because I think Rice is going to get suspended 6 games, but he's got the Chase Burrow stack again. It's going to be a very common stack. You're playing in a big tournament like this. But it could be the best stack. Again, it showed out once again. It was the best stack last year. It was the best stack a couple years ago. So if you get the right other players to fill in, he takes Tyreek in the 2nd. Kenneth Walker, who could have a monster season. Again, the offensive line stinks, but it's a great system. Then Tony Pollard, I feel like, is one of the best values at running back in that spot. I just feel like better offensive line. Cam Ward now. He had 1,000 yards in that shitty offense last year. Caught a decent amount of balls as well. People are talking about Tajay Spears, but I think Tony Pollard has a big advantage, fumble by Seattle here. So I think Tony Pollard, solid pick. Aaron Jones, not crazy about that pick in the 7th, but not a bad value to get some running back depth. But again, no Rashee Rice for 6 games. I don't like that in the 4th, but I think he started his draft with the first 3 picks pretty solid. Tyreek, again, he could be a little volatile too. Tua's kind of like checking down at Devin Achane, but Jonu's not there anymore, so it should be more downfield shots. But Tyreek, we'll see. We'll see. He's a little, volatile too, but so much potential to get back to his numbers from 2 years ago, or something close to it. So he's a guy that you just can't dismiss and totally fade. So, um, not bad there. But again, Rashee Rice in the fourth, um, especially in a tight end premium where he should be pushed down a little bit further, maybe to the fifth. I think I feel decent about taking Rashee Rice with a 6-game suspension, maybe in the sixth or seventh. So if he gets suspended 6 games, we'll see. I think then he'll start going 6th, 7th round. But I like taking Xavier Worthy now over him. Team 2, Bijan, A.J. Brown, Kittle, McLaurin, Connor, Kelsey, Mahomes. So he's got the Kansas City stack, the return of Kelsey and Mahomes. Kelsey dropped a little bit of weight, I think, getting a little bit of shape. Obviously he wants a little bit of redemption after the way, he finished in the playoffs last year, but he still had a good season for Kelsey's standards. It's just that for where you would draft him didn't really pay off. So now you get a discount on him in the 6th round. And, in a regular draft, he could drop to like the 9th, 8th, 9th round. Team 3, Jahmyr Gibbs, Ladd, Josh Jacobs, Chubbuck, Sutton, Ingram, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, I don't know. I don't really like drafting him right now. But he could be back week 1. Doesn't sound like it, though. Sounds like it's a pretty serious injury. So he may hit the puck. So it's not a guy I really like drafting, but the rest of the picks I don't mind. Team 4, Bowers, Chase Brown, Higgins, Pickens, Trevion, Hunter, Montgomery. I like the first 4 picks. Hunter could be a really, really high upside pick. It sounds like he's going to play 70% on offense. We'll see. That sounds like what he's been doing in practice so far. I did check out the Jags camp a week and a half ago. He was in the slot mostly, an 11 personnel. Diami Brown was on the outside. They threw a screen to him. He caught a pass in the back of the end zone, which was out of bounds by Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence keeps doing that. And then he, towards the end of the practice, he slipped on a double move. I caught the second half of the practice, so I didn't see him in the first half. He might have been playing more defense in the first half. I didn't see him playing any defense in that practice. But Liam Cohen's already said that they put him out on offense more because he's a little bit more raw playing the receiver position. All right. So we need to get some receivers now. And I only have one. Actually, I have 2 rather. So 2 backs, 2 receivers. Jacoby Myers, Diggs. Oh, I'm up next. Jacoby Myers is pretty solid. Juwan Jennings, we don't really know what the hell's going on with him right now. He's got a toe injury or a calf injury. He's dyeing his hair purple. He wants to get paid. So, there's plenty of time. But, Ayuk, I think he's going to be out a month at least. Pearsall is emerging. But even Coing's hurt. Today, Jordan James gets hurt. I mean, everybody started to draft Jordan James because Garendo just got hurt. Now Jordan James is hurt. Holy shnikes. So they're really messed up. Deebo Samuel's a guy I keep taking. I haven't been drafting a lot of Ibuka. I have him in 1 or 2 leagues. I know people really like him. I'm not as high on him as others. Jeez. I'm gonna take Juwan Jennings. I was taking him early and then I stopped taking him because of the injury. But I'll take him here. The receivers aren't that great right now. I could take Dobbins now and get that Denver backfield. Jordan Mason, I kind of like as a pick. The running backs are getting kind of slim as well. So do I want to balance it out with 3 running backs and 3 receivers? I don't have a quarterback yet either. Baker is there. I could get the Baker Evans stack. I've been taking so much Justin Fields. I'm going to take Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason comes over from the Niners. He's had a little bit of his injury issues as well. I don't know, for whatever reason, it seems like Shanahan, his running backs are always hurt. I mean, whether it's Tevin Coleman or Jerick McKinnon, Raheem Mostert, it's like all the backs he drafts are always freaking hurt. McCaffrey, Garendo. Now Jordan James is hurt. But anyway, Jordan Mason, I don't think he was just a product of that system. He's a very solid back, underrated receiver, comes into a great system. I think McCarthy is going to be able to move that ball down the field with ease with Jefferson. Addison, again, he's out 3 games, but got Hawkinson. He's back from his groin injury. Jalen Naylor's a nice fill-in receiver there as well. You got Mason, Aaron Jones, and then again, Kevin O'Connell's like the QB whisperer with Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins throwing for 300 yards. Nick Mullins throwing for 400 yards. O'Connell incomplete on 3rd and 7. Raiders kicking a field goal. So, get a little bit more balance here. Jennings, again, he could be the leading receiver for the Niners. Again, I like Ricky Pearsall. I took him in a draft yesterday. You kind of have to bump up to get Pearsall now. Like, you pass on guys like Olave, you pass on guys like Judy, Jacoby Myers, Debo, Juwan Jennings to get Pearsall. He goes in that range. And normally I was taking Olave, I was taking Judy, I was taking Jennings, or sometimes Ridley, and I'd miss out on Pearsall. He was just kind of in that spot where I kept missing on him constantly. But you want to get a piece of you want to get Ricky Pearsall on your team. I just think he's going to really excel there. He was a 1st-round pick for them. I thought they should have took Ladd. And I liked Pearsall, but then I watched it, his targets from last year towards the end where he really kind of came alive and he looked great. Thought he ran one of the best out routes. I actually like this guy's team a lot. Team 5. CD, Drake London. I think Drake London's in for a huge year. Kyron, how could you argue with Kyron Williams? Been a workhorse. I guess the one concern now is Stafford's back. That could go to shit. But either way, he'll still get a ton of work. Then you got Kamara, who's just solid every single year. Jameson Williams, who I think is going to have a big-time year. Njoku is great when he's on the field. He's kind of had a little bit of an injury history. Maybe Fann's a little bit of a thorn in his side, but still, very good pick in the 6th round in a tight end premium. And then Ricky Pearsall. This is my favorite team. It's got to be my favorite team right here, number 5. I mean, I think his team is better. I like it better than mine. I mean, and Matthew Golden, I think it's another side. I think this guy's on fire right now. Bouncing back. You are bouncing back. It's a great freaking team right there. Team 5. I like that a lot. Wow. And I don't really like being in the back end of drafts, especially if it's not 3rd round reversal. But in tight end premium, I guess it's not as bad because you could still get a Brian Thomas with the 12th pick and get a McBride. So my start's good. And Brees, Evans, Harvey. I mean, I guess I like my team. I can't really complain. I know I do like my team, but I just like this guy's team team 5. Team 6, Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, Jaden Daniels, DK, Rome, Judy, Addison. That's a good team too. I'm not a big Rome guy. I'm like anti-Bears. I don't think I've drafted one Bears player yet. I'll never draft Caleb. I'll never draft DeAndre Swift. Actually, I've drafted Roschon Johnson. That's the only guy I've drafted. And I love DJ Moore, probably one of my favorite players. Again, 2 years ago with Fields and Moore, I was like my biggest stack. Probably my most owned receiver, and maybe one of my most owned quarterbacks. Definitely my highest stack for sure. And it was great until Fields missed a month. I think he dislocated his thumb after Daniel Hunter smashed him to the ground. But and if you guys have watched my shows, I've referenced that like 10,000 times. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, they have so many guys, Luther Burden and Loveland now, which are Ben Johnson's guys. And then you still got DJ Moore, and you still got Cole Kmet's going to be a little bit involved, and the running game, obviously. So, I mean, there's just too many targets to go around. How many guys can he really make relevant? So, Dunze, I think, what was he, a 5th round pick last year? Or now he's going in the 6th round. I just don't see him being like a number 1 guy. I don't know. I just feel like it's just too rich for my blood. I don't see a ton of upside there. And I don't really like the way Caleb played last year. I thought he was overhyped coming out of college. If you look back at his college games, there's a lot of concerns there. The other thing about Caleb is a lot of what he did in college, the way he could run, the way he could scramble. He can't do that in the NFL. Well, at least he couldn't last year. Sitting in the pocket, throwing the ball. He just looks uncomfortable. Looks like he's aiming the ball a lot of times. He likes to get out and throw on the run and make plays on the run. And when he does that, he makes a lot of big plays. There's no doubt. But you can't be operating like that the full game in the NFL. It's just something off there. And I don't know if Ben Johnson's going to come to save the day. They've literally put everything in place for Caleb to succeed, but I'm still just down on it. And everybody's kind of expecting it to succeed. And regardless, even if they don't play that well, even though the Bears aren't even that great, and Caleb's numbers aren't that great, he could still put up pretty decent fantasy numbers, and the receivers could still put up pretty decent fantasy numbers. So it could still work out, even if the Bears don't have a lot of success, or, if they flop, or even if Caleb flops. Dude, this dude, Holani, is very interesting. Where's Jamie at? Jamie in the room? Tell me about this guy, Holani, bro. Or any Dynasty people who know about Holani, let me know. I'll be checking this guy's college tape out after this game. Just kind of looks smooth out there, man. Making guys miss, breaking tackles, got some speed. But again, the one thing about running backs in the preseason, they're very deceiving. There's been so many running backs that look good in the preseason, then they get to the regular season and they just look completely different. So, but you got to take shots at some of these guys sometimes, and you want to be prepared in case there's an opportunity for one of these guys. You drop some fab. Drew Lock, back in Seattle, slinging it. So we had 7 tight ends go off the board in the 6th round. So I'm kind of glad that I took Laporta, because I feel like, I kind of started the run there. And I feel like I could have got the best one there. You could argue maybe Hockenson could be better than Laporta for sure. Andrews could be better. Even Kelsey. I mean, Ingram, they all could be. But, Laporta, he was coming in hurt last year, and he finished the year strong. Still a big target for Goff. Still fits Goff's mold of, kind of cross the middle, shorter passes. I do like JMO. You still got Amon-Ra St. Brown. But Laporta is still going to be a big factor in that offense. Tyler Warren looked good tonight. All these were solid picks, I feel like. Kelsey, though, I think Noah Gray is going to get a little bit more involved. And you do have Worthy. Rice is going to come back at some point. So he doesn't really need to be the guy he has been in the past. And they're probably going to try to keep him a little bit, reserved for the end of the year, I would think. Colston Loveland, I'm not into. Again, no Bears. That's another guy. Like I think I mentioned him earlier, but so that's my story on Caleb. He likes to make those plays on the run, but you can't do that in the NFL. And a lot of what he could do in college, I don't think he'll be able to do in the NFL. So again, he's got they built everything around him. We'll see how it works out. He could still be good for fantasy, even if the Bears stink. That Holani again, or is this somebody else? Oh no, receiver. Who is that? Touchdown, Seattle. I don't know who the receiver is. This is great though, man. What is better than this? Having football back. We got it all weekend. Tomorrow, Saturday. More preseason games coming. I'm going to be doing live drafts all weekend. NFC's got a bunch of big discounts coming. PlayNFC.com. They have a gladiator draft. Oh, Horton, the rookie Horton, Torrey Horton. Catch a little curl route, breaks a tackle, spin move into the end zone. There goes Javonte Williams. All right, let me get back on the horn here. Concentrate on my draft. Blocked extra point. If you guys are watching this, let me know. So far, Brian Thomas, Trey McBride, Breece Hall, Mike Evans, RJ Harvey, Sam Laporta, Juwan Jennings, Jordan Mason. So 3 running backs, 3 receivers, 2 tight ends, no quarterback yet. Did Baker Mayfield go yet? Wow. I could have taken a Buka. Wow, Josh Downs is there. Keon Coleman. There's some good receivers here. I think I'm going to take Keon. I kind of like what I'm seeing. Again, Keon, I don't know if he's a true number 1. You got Josh Palmer in the way. Khalil Shakir sounds like he'll be back week 1. They said today. High ankle sprain. Tight ends, Tucker Kraft still sitting there. I love Tucker Kraft. Do I want to take Baker here? I haven't been taking a lot of Baker. I do have Evans, so it makes sense in this tournament to stack him. And I think Baker, again, is going to throw over 30 touchdowns. I know Tristan Wirfs is going to miss maybe, the first 4 games. I do take a lot of Fields. I'm going to take Keon Coleman. And I love Tucker Kraft, but I already have 2 tight ends. I could start 3. I think Tucker Kraft's going to have a big year. And to me, he's the best tight end on the board. So this is a little bit of a conundrum here. What do I do here? Do I take Baker for the stack? I don't really have any other stacks that I could get. Oh, next there's another one I can get. Yeah. I could go back to that well. I'm just going to that well so many times that I want to switch it up. But you know what? This is tight end premium, baby. And I love this guy. So I'm taking Tucker Kraft in the 10th. And I could start all 3 guys if I want, which is another cool aspect. Most leagues you can only start 2 tight ends. Although, yeah, NFC you can only start 2. You only have 1 flex spot. RT Sports, I believe, is 2 flex as well. So you can start 3 there. And then FFWC, you could start 3 as well. I think. Pretty sure. So, Keon Coleman, he is not the best separator. He's not the best route runner, but good 50-50 ball guy. Him and Allen showing a lot of connection in camp. Shakir's out, which will help that connection probably a little bit more. You got Elijah Moore, you got Josh Palmer, but Keon has been there for a year, so he's got an advantage over those guys, and he's the target. He was their early 2nd round pick. He's the guy they want to get involved with Kincaid. So, I do like Josh Downs. Pittman is not a bad value either. But again, I don't really trust Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. I don't know what the hell's going on. And Tyler Warren seems like he'll soak up a lot. And Adonai Mitchell is solid too. So I think it's going to be spread around. Then you got Jonathan Taylor. So, I feel like Keon's a little bit more concentrated there. Although that's a spread around. They spread the ball. I mean, Josh spread the ball around hard last year. One other note about Rishi Rice too. Forgot about that. He is dealing with a groin issue. So top of the suspension, dealing with a groin, but I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because he's going to, unless, he doesn't get suspended to start the season. That seems unlikely because he's already been convicted, 2 felony charges, 30 days in jail, although he could serve it any time within his 4-year probationary period. But that sentence should come down soon. But anyway, Keon, I think, should have a pretty solid year. Good shot for him to be the number 1 guy there with, who I think is the best quarterback in the league, in Josh Allen. All right, there goes Najee. Again, go a little early. I mean, I've seen him drop 12, 13. But if you want to take him in the 10th round, there was a picture of Najee. And it sounded like it looked like he took a selfie, and like one of his eyes was closed. I don't know if he was winking or if he did it on purpose. Like, it's just been so discreet and vague. We don't really know what the hell's going on there with Najee. Amari Hampton is a guy that I'm not targeting. I just think he's going too high. He's in a great situation. But they did just lose Slater for the year, which is a devastating injury for the freaking Chargers, to lose your tackle. A guy they just paid a bunch of money to this year. He's out for the year. Unbelievable. Huge loss. So everybody says, Chargers going to run the ball a lot. But, I mean, you have Justin Herbert, right? And I know Greg Roman likes to run the ball, yeah. And the fact that they drafted Hampton so early and they brought in Najee indicates obviously they want to run the football. But you bring in Trey Harris, you got Lab McConkey, you have Keenan Allen, you still got Quentin Johnson, who he's still got speed. You get the ball to Quentin Johnson in an open field, he could do some good things, big target. And you draft Oronde Gadsden, who could maybe emerge towards the end of the year. I don't know what my thoughts on Oronde Gadsden Jr. are yet. I got to go back and check him a little bit harder. Could be like I don't know. For some reason, he reminds me of the way he runs, like Jared Cook, kind of a little bit. Oh, man. O'Connell is just having a rough day out there. Gets picked off again. Damn, O'Connell's just getting picked left and right. Shit. We haven't seen Jalen Milroe yet, so we're going to get to see him pretty soon too. So this is why you love this shit. I can't wait for tomorrow's games. But anyway, the hell was I talking about? I completely forgot. Oh, the Chargers. Yeah, so I think they're going to throw the ball a bit more than people expect, and I do think Herbert is also nobody wants Baker Mayfield. Let's see if he gets taken. If he's still there, I think I have to get the Evans stack because my only other stacks here would be Kyler Murray, which I don't want to do. I hate taking Kyler Murray. Brock Purdy is a possible one. I could take Jordan Love, which I'm not totally opposed to. I think he'll have a bounce back season. Trevor Lawrence is not something I want to do with Brian Thomas. I think my top one would be Jordan Love. So if I don't get Baker, I'd probably go with Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft. But again, I'm not probably going to use Kraft that much because I have McBride and Laporta. So it would make more sense to go with Brian Thomas. But I do actually have one other one. I could go with Fields and Breece Hall as well. But again, I've been drafting so much Justin Fields. He's becoming my most owned quarterback. And normally I like to go with the premium quarterbacks in Lamar, Allen, mostly Josh Allen. Mixing a little Daniels in there. Haven't drafted Burrow yet. A little bit of Hurts. There goes Damian Martinez. Looks pretty good too. Nice and stable. He's a big back. Clint Kubiak, baby. Another coach's son, Gary Kubiak. It's my best friend's team name in one of our home leagues, Gary Kubiak. But yeah, so we'll see what I do with the stack. But I think you want to get a stack, whether you're doing a best ball, large field tournament, and then in best ball, obviously, it's best ball. So you kind of you want to get those. You want to draft like 2 quarterbacks or maybe 3 quarterbacks and try to stack all 3 of those quarterbacks if you can. In this format, you're just trying to maybe stack your starting quarterback who you're going to be using, especially if you take one early, or the one you rely on the most. But you could do, I guess, a double stack if you take 2 quarterbacks too. But you're really just aiming for one main one that you think you're going to utilize the most. But you want to have that correlation because all these tournaments. So how these tournaments work is, and the FFPC is a little bit different because it ends on week 12. And then the playoffs, they have a playoffs in this format, weeks 13 and 14. And if you finish top 2 in your league, you're going to advance to the postseason, which is 15, 16, 17. So, and from there, they're going to take your cumulative, your average score from, your weeks 1 through 12. And is it 1 through 12 or 1 through 14? I don't know. I forget. But they'll take your average score. You start that with that as a baseline. Then you're going to go cumulatively from 15, 16, 7 total points. So, you get a combo that goes nuts, like a Chase of Burrow, like Team 1 did. Obviously that's the most common one. So in a large field tournament, especially with 16,000 entries in this Big Gorilla, a lot of people are going to have that. So you really got to kind of, but again, his team's a little different. But you want to have those combos that smash and just go nuts towards the end of the year, and it correlates. And then you could do you could think about a lot of people do those week 17 bringbacks. So you have that stack in week 17 with a Burrow and Chase, and then whoever they're playing in week 17, you draft the guy on the other team to correlate everything into one game. And the Bengals play the Cardinals this year in week 17. So, maybe a Harrison, if he could pull it off, or Trey McBride, or maybe a James Conner, something like that. But you don't have to worry about that so much. I think it's more of a best ball strategy. But anyway, that's just another strategy there. But stacking, yes, in large field tournaments, I think it's very. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it's a good idea that you go after it. Quidshot Junkins, what is going to happen with him? We don't know. He could not play. He hasn't even been signed yet, so it's not good. He hasn't been in camp. He's not signed. It's not good. So I'm not a fan of drafting him, and that's Team 5. So I liked everything Team 5 was doing up until that pick. Cam Scatterbo I like. Dak and CD stack. I mean, it was perfect. But hey, if Junkins comes back and plays this year, it's going to work out. It's not a terrible, I guess, risk to take him the 11th round, but I wouldn't have done it. I think he was having a perfect draft, almost perfect draft until then. We talked about Team 6, Team 7. And I'm coming back. Oh, there goes Baker. So I missed out on the Baker stack. This guy took 5 straight receivers. He got 5 nice receivers. But yeah, Baker's a good value there in the 11th round. All right. This has been a fun draft. I like drafting while watching preseason games. 3 tight ends, 4 receivers, 3 backs. My backfield is not. I got to get a little bit more depth here in my backfield. This guy I have not been drafting a lot. I think I'm going to take him if he's there. And hopefully he lands to me. And I'm going to go with my usual here. Oh, this guy just took my guy. Just took Trey Benson. That's the guy I wanted. Shit, I haven't get any Trey Benson. So that sucked. I thought he was going to fall to me there. Roshan Johnson is my fourth back. Heard Dinkmeyer from Establish the Run, who very sharp guy, saying that Roshan Johnson is his most owned running back in best ball. So it makes sense. Ben Johnson, the power back role, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams. Remember, a couple of years ago, Jamal Williams, how many touchdowns did he have? 20? Swift would have had a good year if it wasn't for Jamal Williams just vulturing all his touchdowns. There goes Ray Davis, a guy that I like, but I think James Cook will get signed eventually. Josh Allen had some good comments, but obviously it's not the same offense. The offensive line is not going to be as good. It's not going to be, the weapons are a little bit different. The quarterback is not as good, so they probably won't be in the red zone as much, but I mean, is there a world where Roshan Johnson, a guy that I liked coming out of Texas, who hasn't looked good, as good in the NFL, had some injuries? Is there a world where he could get double-digit touchdowns and maybe take the lead job? Now, Kyle Manunjai, rookie, 7th round, though, out of Rutgers, like Isaiah Pacheco. Could he be involved? First off, I'm going to take Justin Fields. So I got my stack. I'm taking so much Justin Fields, baby. Come on. The helmet is here. It makes sense. Signed by Justin Fields. Shout out to Hall from Face Off Sports Network for getting me that helmet in an auction. Marty Lyons auction. Put down the money. He shipped it to me. So maybe it's the theme of the year, Justin Fields. But I've been burnt before when I've been over 50% on guys, 60, 70%, like J.K. Dobbins and Nick Chubb, breaking their Achilles and breaking their knees for the year. But Justin Fields is going to have a good year. Jets, Aaron Glenn, let's go, baby. But anyway, I need a running back. There's some good receivers on the board here, but I need a back. I respect Dinkmeyer from Established to Run. Again, very sharp guy. Shout out to Dwayne McFarland, too, because I remember a couple of years ago, Fantasy Life, he said Jamal Williams was going to have a big year. I remember that. I was like, Jamal Williams? There's no chance in hell he's going to have a big year. But he was right. He nailed that. Had a monster year. So it was about the opportunity in that offense. And this is the same offense with Ben Johnson. So it makes sense. I think the process is right. So let's go with Roshan Johnson. And the backs aren't great here. I mean, you got Jerome Ford, Braylon Allen, Jalen Wright. I mean, Jerome Ford probably wouldn't have been a bad pick. I mean, he's probably going to split with Dylan Sampson. So that's not a terrible one. But still, I think Roshan a little bit more upside. Chukowski, Merritt, he's the third guy. Jarquez is behind. I can get those guys later. So I needed some backfield depth. My backfield depth is not great. But again, we're in the 12th round now. All right, so let's go back to the builds here. Actually, let me check out. Got some comments. Oh, yes. Jamie is here. Boy, Al says, what's up? Jamie says, yo, Steve, that was at 11:12, 11:26. Hopefully you're still here with me, Jamie. In Battle of the Sexes tournament, I drafted Butte with my second pick based off the name. Would you prefer Elijah Moore or Jalen Naylor? Give me more Butte or gonna Naylor Butte? Which name do I like better? Hopefully talk about your wife here, Jamie, but give me more Butte or Gunny. I mean, they're both good. I do like Jalen Naylor, but he's gonna run it. He's gonna run out once Addison comes back. So I think you got to go Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore probably could maybe fit that Cole Beasley role a little bit, right? And then once Addison comes back, it's going to be over for Naylor. I mean, we kind of saw that last year, last couple of years. So I guess we're going with give me more Butte, man. I'm on the clock wondering who you prefer, Mixon, B-Rob, or Jordan Mason. I prefer B-Rob. Mixon, again, I don't know what his injury sounds like. It's serious, supposedly. Jordan Mason, I like, but I think B-Rob, again, with Daniels, I think Mason maybe has more upside than B-Rob, especially if Jones gets hurt, which is possible. So, but I think the safest pick is probably B-Rob. But if you want to go with Mason, I'm fine. I don't want to take Mixon right now because I don't know what the injury is. He's the best pick if he's healthy, I would think. But I would go with B-Rob or Mason. And I'm so glad that I took Roschon without even knowing you were in the room, man. I don't know if you heard me say that Drew Dinkmeyer, I don't know if you know who he is from Establish the Run. Guy plays a ton of best ball and DFS fantasy. Very, very sharp guy, very analytical guy. Says Roschon is his most owned player in best ball. So huge. And glad you're still here, buddy. Our boy Toma is in the house. What's up, man? He loves Krotsky. Very, very knowledgeable owner. Frank knows all the college guys. Fellow Jersey brethren right there. Met him in a Madden league years ago through our boy Chris. And playing fantasy with him for a long time. Plays in all the leagues I play in. College basketball, NBA, college, NFL playoffs. So glad to have him here for sure. What's up, Frank? Hope you have a good summer, man. What's up with Tyreek, man? What do you think Tyreek is going to do? Big Dolphins fan, Frank. Is Tua going to start throwing the ball to them, or is he going to 4,000 more swing passes to Devin Achane? But they got rid of Jonnu, so, I think it's time to throw to those two guys again. And hopefully Tua could stay upright. Jamie says, I have Henry, Kyron, Connor, and I just took B-Rob. All right, man. I like it. If you wanted to take Mason there, I didn't hate it. Mixon, I don't know, man. And Nick Chubb could be, back to normal. Maybe not back to normal, but maybe 85, 90% of what he was. And maybe that could turn into like a split backfield at some point. So I think B-Rob was the right move. But yeah, again, guys, if you are watching first time, like, subscribe, share to the channel. We do a lot of these drafts, whether it's FFPC, FFWC, NFFC. We'll be doing more best ball drafts. Next week, I think we're going to do some division previews. We'll see how many we can fit in before the season starts. Hopefully we can get them all in, but I don't know. And then we're going to do some futures bets, picks with my boy Matt. We're going to do that next week as well. We're going to start gearing that up. So we do college basketball on this channel, a little bit of NBA stuff as well. We did do an NBA draft preview. We did the first round. So check that out. So yeah, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Back to the draft and to the builds. Zach Ertz in the 13th. He just keeps going. You can't hate on it. Jaden Daniels is throwing the ball, and Zach Ertz, how good did he play in the freaking playoffs? Went off in that game against the Lions. So not a terrible pick there. And he has Bowers. So there goes Jarquez, a guy that I draft a ton of. Really like Jarquez Hunter. But again, Kyron's in the way. So, maybe Kyron gets a little bit of a break this year, but he's still going to be the main cog. But I do like Jarquez. I think Peyton got his guy there. But Blake Corum's still there. Maybe Blake Corum plays a little bit better this year. I know he was a little bit banged up last year too. So I don't think Jalen Monroe's been in yet. Has he? Aiden O'Connell is still in the game now. Sincere McCormick. Remember him from last year? 2 carries, 8 yards. Ian Thomas, tight end from the Panthers. 2 catches, 24 yards. He's not on the fantasy radar until Meyer and something happens to Bowers. But either way, I don't think he's on the radar. Frank says, "Hello, what's up, Steve? Great team so far. Appreciate that. Time for Reek and Malik Washington. Well, I mean Waddle too, man. But yeah, Malik's is talented. And who do you think is going to take that second running back job? Do you think it's going to be Jalen Wright? I know there was some talk about Alexander Madison now, which, I mean, Madison's the veteran. He could kind of be a thorn there a little bit. Or do you think it's going to be Ollie Gordon emerging as the backup? All right. I'm up next. So let's get back into business. Still need running back depth. Did anybody watch the preseason tonight? Keaton Mitchell, man. He looked freaking good out there. I mean, he's not a terrible pick right at this point. I mean, Justice Hill didn't really play tonight. He's looked good when he's been on the field. Nobody wants Trey Harris anymore because Keenan Allen. He's been slipping a little bit in drafts. So I keep getting him. Justin Herbert, McCarthy, Jordan Love, a lot of good running backs still on the board. I like taking Penix too. I think Penix could have a nice year. Even Bryce Young's not terrible. Herbert, though, man, I think he's a really good value. I've been taking a lot of Bashard Smith. I saw I think something happened to him in camp today. But I like Bashard Smith. Shipley, direct backup to Saquon, it looks like. Shit. I'm going to take Keaton Mitchell, man. Looked great tonight. It's more of a depth pick. I don't have Henry. But, the backs now are just shot. Dowdle, Shipley, Brooks, Lloyd. I haven't drafted any. Trey Harris, Kyle Williams, Bateman. Some good receivers here. This is a tough choice because I like all 3 of these guys. We are in the 14th round. Tight ends. I already have 3. Uh, 3 seconds. Shit. All right, Trey Harris once again. Again, Keenan Allen's there. You got Quentin, you got McConkey, but I think Harris is going to be pretty good. He's going to have a pretty good rookie season. He could be the number 2 there behind McConkey. Carl Williams, I like him a lot too, but you got Diggs. But Diggs, he could get hurt. You got, Henry and, May. I don't know how much he's really going to, is he going to throw for over 3,000 yards? Probably not. I'll probably be like maybe high 2s. I mean, I guess he could throw for 3,000. But how many touchdowns is he going to throw? 20. So I don't know how much production Kyle Williams is going to get, although he could be the number 1 guy there. I do like him. And the camp reports have been good. But then they're talking about there's a lot of guys, even Butte. Kyle Williams is competing with a lot of those guys. So Bateman, probably the most safest pick. I mean, he really finished the season strong last year, kept stealing touchdowns from Zay Flowers. I already have Keon. I don't want Josh Palmer. I think he'll be volatile. Jalen McMillan, I feel like people are sleeping on. And I do have Evans. So it kind of makes sense for me to draft him, but I didn't have to take him there. Pat Bryant, I like a lot. Frank Stone for me in our dynasty draft. Recently. Leggett coming up. He should be a little bit improved. Romeo Dobbs is not a bad pick. I like Jalen Royals. I feel like if Rice is suspended 6 games, Royals and Hollywood's hurt again, Royals might just be forced onto the field. And I think he could play, man. I really like Jalen Royals. So he's a good late pick I like as well. Running backs, normally I take Brashard Smith there. I do like him a lot. Supposedly Elijah Mitchell is their highest paid running back, which is crazy, but they don't invest a lot into their running backs. Ever since he got burnt on CEH, he's like, I'm never taking a back high again. Give me all these bums and we'll figure it out. But Pacheco should be the guy there again. He did not look the same last year after the fibula injury from 2 years ago. Just like Tony Pollard did not look the same his first year back. So he should be much improved this year. Should be the guy. So we'll see about Brashard Smith. I already have a ton of shares of him. So, I still need more backs. I like Kendry Miller. Marshawn Lloyd is another guy who can't stay healthy. His appendix is out, his hamstring, ankle, I don't know. He's just constantly hurt. Taj Brooks didn't really have a good debut today. Jordan James, he was a hot pick. So yeah, the backs are kind of hit, man. Maybe I should have taken another running back. McKendry Miller, Kyle Monunga I actually took the other night too. And I do have Roschon, so could take those 2 guys. Marshawn still has plenty of time to get back, and he's in a great situation. So, but maybe I should have taken Brashard Smith, but I did get Keaton Mitchell. So I'm happy with the Keaton Mitchell pick. Again, he looked great tonight. And again, he just hasn't shown it in the preseason. Like a lot of these guys just show in the preseason. He showed it in the actual NFL games too. And I mean his speed and athleticism, and agility, and that is showed in true NFL games. So he can play. And he says he feels back. He says he feels recovered. That's what they were saying today. So the running back so far, Brees, Harvey, Jordan Mason, Roschon, Keaton Mitchell. So we got 5 backs. Need a little bit more depth there. Maybe one more back. In this format, you do have to leave this draft with a kicker and a defense. Some of these formats you can just draft all positional players and just make sure you have a legal lineup by week 1. Frank asked Cedric Tillman out there. Jalen Wright should be 2. Yeah, probably. And L Stoll, referring to Pat Bryant. Yeah, man, I really wanted Pat Bryant. I feel like I could never get the receivers I want. I remember last year I wanted freaking McConkey and Brian Thomas, and Greg had 2 first-round picks, and he snatched up both of them right before me. I think he had the 6 and the 8, and he got, I think, Thomas 6 and McConkey 8, and I had the 9th pick. And I think I took Trey Benson. So it's just like 2 monsters he got in the first round there. Who the hell did I get? Receiver. I don't think I really went after receiver in this draft. In that draft. There goes Marshall. So the running backs are getting eaten up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 positional players left before I got to go kicker defense. Team 7, Malik Neighbors, Bucky, Garrett Wilson, Hurts, DJ Moore, Andrews, Pacheco, ETN, Rashad White, Kirk, Ayuk, Mims. Yeah, I like those first 6, 7 picks. 8 picks are pretty solid. Team 8, Daddy, Saquon, Henry, Harrison, Cook, Swift, Ridley, Olave, Debo, Shakir, Pittman, Mayfield, Purdy combo, Henry. Team 1's got a stack. Team 2 has a stack. Team 1 is Burrow, Chase. Team 2 is Kelsey, Mahomes. Team 3, Bo Nix, Ingram, and Goff, Gibbs. Team 5, or Team 4 rather. No stack for him. And he's picking now. Team 6, Dak, CD. Team 5 rather. Team 6, Jaden, and nobody. Team 7, no stack for him either. Team 8, Baker, no stack for him. Purdy. Oh, Purdy. No stack for him either. Team 9, Lamar and Zay. There you go. Team 10, Drake May stack with Demario Douglas. That's a different one. He's like, I got to get somebody here. And then Team 11, the Ray Davis, Josh Allen stack. You got Ty Johnson, and Josh Allen called him the best third down back in the league today. So, that's the thing about Ray Davis is Cook's going to get most of the work, and then Ray Davis kind of comes in here and there, but then Ty Johnson, comes in, he plays a lot too. So, maybe people are expecting, James Cook to be traded, but they need James Cook. He just gives them a different element with that speed that he's got. Team 12, which is me, the Justin Fields, Breece Hall stack. So, I think 2 or 3 teams don't have stacks here. For the most part, everyone has one. Some of them are very weak stacks. The Drake May DeMario stack. But DeMario, I guess he's got a chance. He could be the number 1 guy there. I think he's still a good player. Just that they bring in Diggs and Pop, and Kyle Williams rather. All right, back to the board. Again, need some backs. Justin Herbert's still there. I did take Trey Harris to get that stack. So I think I'm going to take my second quarterback because I do need to have another quarterback. Question is do I want to take – and I got to get another running back. I got to take Kendre Miller. I like Kendre. He's had a rough career. Kareem Hunt, you could say too. He should get snaps early in the year. I don't see why not. Is he going to get – are they going to go all Pacheco? Was that the case like they knew Pacheco wasn't healthy last year? He knew it wasn't the same. He's going to be healthier this year, so he's going to get most of the starting reps. He probably will. But all right, taking Herbert. Cedric Tillman, Frank? No. He's been off the board for a little while. But Kendre, maybe they trade Kamara. The Saints are going to are terrible this year. So then Kendre maybe gets the starts. And Devin Neal, the rookie that is drafted, he's out. And from Kansas, he's out for a while. So Kendre Miller, again, wasn't just Kendrick Miller's injury history. Yeah, he got hurt in college, and then he was hurt before this, his rookie year. And Dennis Allen kept saying, "I don't know where he is. I don't know." I've referenced this a billion times, but and then once Dennis Allen got fired, all of a sudden you saw Kendrick Miller. So I think a lot of Kendrick Miller not playing was Dennis Allen just hated his guts for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe Dennis Allen's got a freaking hood, somewhere in his basement or something. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that. He just gives me like Ku Klux Klan vibes for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, he hated freaking Kendrick Miller's guts. And Kendrick Miller is a good player. So I don't know what the hell was going on there. I think there was some truth to that. Hey, but Dennis Allen, good defensive coordinator. I mean, I think he's been pretty solid. I mean, he kind of was riding the coattails of Sean Payton for a while, just like Carmichael was, and that whole regime is finally out. And now they bring in Kellen Moore. So it's gonna be interesting. But Kamara is still gonna be the guy. Kamara is still so solid. I mean, he's what, 30 this year, I guess. But they could trade him. So I get another stack there with Justin Herbert and Trey Harris. Let me check to see if Keenan Allen. Yeah, he's starting to go now. Obviously, since he got signed. Where did he go in this draft? Did he? He had to get drafted, right? Yeah, he got drafted in the beginning of the end of the 12th round. Tillman went end of the 13th. Right after I took Keaton Mitchell. Or right before I took Keaton Mitchell, rather. So, defense is starting to go now. Again, I just stream defenses. But, if you want to take Denver defense or Philly defense and, just hold them the whole year, I mean, those are seem like the two strongest defenses. And Nick Bonito, I mean, that guy could just remember that pick he had against Adonai Mitchell last year. I remember I lost to my brother, Frank, in our Yahoo League. I think it was the playoffs, actually. Nick Bonito had that freaking pick 6 from Adonai Mitchell. It was the reason I lost the game to him. But yeah, Denver defense could put up points. Again, they just drafted that corner from Texas who looks legit. Pair him with Surtain. And Philly defense, they looked great last year. So if you want to ride those guys, but I just prefer to try to take shots on some of these names, continue to build depth, and just play stream throughout the year, which, you got to spend more fab on the defenses. But, these guys may not hold these defenses all year either. They may get injuries. They're not as good, and then they're streaming anyway. So it could work out. And I've seen guys in some of these formats take 2 or 3 defenses and just two of the strongest ones. Like I've seen a guy take Denver and Philly and just play matchups, which I don't think that's actually a different type of strategy, and it kind of maximizes your points too. So that's something I may try to do actually, but I just hate missing out on taking a Herbert or a Kendrick Miller and getting good players, and I guess you could fill it out towards the end of the draft with some decent guys too. But last 2 rounds instead of taking the defensive kicker. But it's an interesting strategy to have the 2 top defenses on your roster. Jamie says, do you prefer Ray Davis or Braylon Allen in Dynasty? I have them pretty close. I prefer Ray. Jamie. I think Isaiah Davis is going to get some burn too. I kind of like him. I mean, Braylon, I don't think he was that great last year. I know he's getting a lot of hype in camp. but I think it's gonna be the Breeze show. And Jamie. It's possible. But I think Ray Davis is in a much better situation with Josh Allen. You never know what the hell's gonna happen with the Jets. So I like Ray Davis, man. As far as talent, I think Ray Davis can do a little bit more too in the pass game. Um, but if Braylon Allen was on the Bills, I probably would say Braylon Allen. But I'll take Ray Davis. I actually have Ray Davis, and I'm only in 3 dynasty leagues. I joined 2 more this year. Usually I'm only in 1. I have Ray Davis in the one I'm in. The first one I've ever done, which my cousin started, I think like 6, 7 years ago or 8 years ago. That was the first one I started doing. But did 2 more this year with the face-off guys. Toma's in one of them, actually, I think, right? Frank's in one of them. And then the other one's another one, face-off league. There goes Jalen Royals. Adonai Mitchell, I think, is a good pick. He's getting camp hype. You don't see Adonai Mitchell go in these drafts, so that's interesting. So this guy's paying attention, obviously, to the preseason camp hype. Prestige worldwide, too. Adonai's kind of looking pretty good in camp. But they have a lot of guys again. And then, if Richardson's going to miss a month and you got Daniel Jones throwing, those 7-yard curl routes all over the field, that's Daniel Jones' specialty. He likes to throw like 5-yard curl, 6-yard curl routes. Get maybe like 1 or 2 first downs, and then they punt. And that's basically what he saw today. He was 10 of 21. There was a couple drops, but again, he had a couple throws where he overthrew the guy, a couple of dirt balls. So they better pray and hope that Anthony Richardson can kind of figure things out, stay healthy, recognize a blitz off the corner. I get 2 seconds, and I root for Anthony Richardson, and I kind of argue for him to be the starter. But he's got to at least be a little bit more aware there. He was just staring to the left. He didn't feel the pressure. The guy just killed him. I've seen that happen to Fields too before too. But again, the guy was completely untouched. Here's Milrow now. Wow. He looks quick out there, man. Man, I loved Milrow 2 years ago in that Alabama, the year they lost to Michigan when they played Michigan real tough in that bowl game. And then last year, it just seemed like he regressed. I don't know if it was because Saban left or whatever, but he just really seemed like he regressed as a passer. Like, I feel like he was getting better. And I kind of gave up on him, but as an athlete, he's freakish for sure. He just showed that on that run, although it's coming back. But if he could develop as a passer, it's like Richardson. But he just really, really declined last year. That was a nice throw. And the camp reports have been good on him. Supposedly he's looked, some people said he's looked as good as Sam Darnold. So, you don't know what to believe, though. Some of these Twitter reports. Our boy Mile High Luke is back. Oh, nice catch you get for one of these. I'm traveling for work, sipping on a high noon in the hotel. Nice, man. Maybe get down to the hot tub later. Or the pool or the bar. But yeah, man, glad you're here, brother. Where are you traveling to? I think you're from Kansas City. I think you live out in Denver now, Mile High, or somewhere in Colorado. But where are you traveling to, man? All right, back on the clock. Yeah, Mile High Luke was the one that told me that Elijah Mitchell was the highest paid running back in Kansas City, and I actually did take him with the last pick of my draft. Look at this. 2 receivers, the last 2 guys on my queue still on the board here. 2 guys that I like. Actually, no, I can only take one. Oh, no, I can take 2. All right. So what do I want to do? Shit. Take Kareem Hunt? No. I think I'm good at running back. I mean, Pat Bryant. Pat Fryermuth getting no respect, man. Taking Jalen McMillan. He's been disrespected as well. Ibuka, I mean, just being shit on. If you look at Jalen McMillan's numbers down the stretch, I mean, he absolutely killed it. I think he did like 8 touchdowns in the last 6 games, something like that. And I'm taking Pat Bryant. Love this kid, man. To round out my receiver room. So it was a little bit while since I took a receiver. Oh, I did take Trey Harris, but so I like the way I finished off the draft there with those 2 guys. Yeah, so he's from KC, lives out in Colorado now. Exactly. Traveled back to work, headquarters in Detroit, and been driving all over Michigan and now in Ohio visiting some cannabis labs. I sell extraction equipment, and then I'll be in Canton this weekend. Man, when you're getting around, bro, that's cool. Extraction equipment, that's cool, man. Yeah. My boy Joe Carlton's going. If you run into him, he's got that sports affiliation show. I don't know if you've ever seen that. He's going. Pete and Jamie's going too. There you go. Run it to Jamie, man. Jamie also has his own show. So yeah, definitely run it to Jamie. If you can find him, maybe you guys will run into each other. But that's cool. I haven't been to the expo yet. Maybe next year. I'm trying to go back up to New York. I was supposed to try to go back up this year to do a live draft. These guys wanted me to go up there. I couldn't make it because I always come up to North Jersey or Jersey and New York in the summer for a week or 2. And then I come back and then it's draft time. Then, I'm already back by then. Then Vegas is also another thing I want to do to draft. I haven't done that yet. So actually haven't done a live football draft in a long time. And that's how I started out, obviously. I mean, we all started out like that, doing live drafts. I remember driving down to Atlantic City like in 2003 to do a Roto Bowl, I think it was called, live draft. That was a high stakes draft like in 2003. But, everything's been online. But, yeah, Jamie's show is Fantasy Six Pack. He'll be at the expo. And Joe Carlton, sports affiliation. Jamie's going to be wearing the black Merino jersey, black Marvin Harrison jersey, and white Browns jersey with Pirog on the back. So, yeah, Pirog, can't miss that. Actually had a friend growing up in Jersey named Aaron Pirog. Nice Polish name. I'm drafting in the Fan Classic at the Hall of Fame on behalf of Fantasy Alarm. That's what sparked me going. Sweet. Wow. That's awesome, man. Fantasy Alarm. That's Howard Bender, right? I believe Pete's going to be on XM with them, with Howard Bender tomorrow. And Sports Affiliation actually did an interview with him as well. Yeah, man, there's so many good guys that go out there. I got to try to make it out there one year for sure. Fishbowl shirt. There you go. You guys figure it out. Figure it out. Well, that's cool, man. That you're traveling all around. How is it up there in Michigan, man? Is it have you seen any of those lakes up there? I heard they got a lot of nice lakes in Michigan. I've never been to Michigan. Never been to Detroit. Because I've never been to Michigan, but I've been to Ohio. I've been to Canton. I used to work out in Ohio years ago. I worked there for like a whole summer, driving back and forth from Jersey. It was like an 8-hour trip. I would spend like a week out in Ohio, and one week I was there. I went to an Indians game. Then I drove down to the Hall of Fame. It was like 45 minutes south of Cleveland. Checked out The Hall of Fame I thought was awesome. Thought it was better than Cooperstown, but not the location. Like Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame blows it away, the location. The actual Hall of Fame I thought was a little bit better, the NFL Hall of Fame. And then I walked into that field. It's cool. But yeah, you guys are gonna have a great time. Enjoy that. I know that's popping off this weekend. And Jamie says, I'm only in 28 Dynasty leagues and starting another. That's insane, man. I don't know how you do it with Dynasty because how do you stay on top of that because of the trades and the pickups? Like the pickups are year round. The trades, I mean, who knows what kind of backyard deals are going on with people knowing everybody. But yeah, Dynasty, I think, is the most pure way to play it because you could build some serious rosters. You don't have to give up guys like redraft or even keeper leagues where you can only keep 2 guys or even 8 guys or 5. Keep all those guys. So I just don't know how you play in 28. That's crazy. But welcome back, Mile High Luke, man. Again, enjoy the expo at Jamie. Gorgeous lakes. I'm actually looking to buy property up there to use and rent. Nice, man. So much lakefront property. Let me know if you have any specific areas. I'm actually looking to maybe get something too. Right now I'm looking into Poconos. Poconos actually has a lot of good value in PA. And you can make money doing short-term rentals there. A lot of money. You could get a house, like a nice house in the Poconos for like 200,000, 250,000 and short-term rent it and maybe make like on a $250,000 house, you can maybe make like 40 grand gross, maybe 50 grand top end, but more like 30, 40 grand. So you do pretty well there. It's usually over 10% on the cap. So yeah, I'm looking there now, but yeah, I don't know anything. Yeah, there's good value, man. You got to see like there's some pretty nice places out there. Now for 500K, you get something really nice. And I'm looking to maybe move back to Jersey one day because I live in Florida now, and it's like it's so expensive to get back in to Jersey now. It's crazy. Everything's so like you got to spend like 800,000 or $1 million just to get something decent. It's terrible. Yeah, no, I would not go in the winter. But yeah, if you know any specific lakes or anything, but I heard, I've seen some people mention certain things, and I know some people buy some short-term properties up there. I might check it out up there. All right, I'm on defenses now. Little small talk there, and I'm done with my positionals. Taking a lot of Rams defense. Sometimes I play matchups. Looks like people are keen to the Arizona defense now. I don't know Gannon's 3rd year, but they're also playing the Saints week 1, so that's a good defense to start with. KC defense is always pretty solid. I've been taking a lot of Rams defense. Chargers defense isn't bad. I've been taking Jets defense. I haven't taken the KC defense that much, so I'll take the KC defense here, even though their week 1 matchup isn't great. Against the Chargers, but definitely starting Fields week 1 against the Steelers. All right, so let's wrap this baby up. Any builds that you guys like the best? You see the board here. Again, I like Team 5 a ton. I think he made a mistake with the Quinshon Junkins, though. But the rest of his picks, man, it's almost like I love it. JJ McCarthy, I like too as a pick. Team 5, I thought did really well. Oh shit, I was supposed to grab my kicker, finish this baby off. Forgot I had back-to-back there. Yikes. Tyler Bass. The Buffalo kicker. I don't know about that. I'll probably, week 1, I don't care. Team 10, Christian McCaffrey, Nico, Worthy, Tet, Waddle. Well, you can't call him Tet. Out of respect for him, I'll call him. I don't know if I'd call him T-Mac, though, because Tracy McGrady, he's got to, live up to that name. So I'll call him Tetaroa. Tyler Warren looked good tonight. Ibuka, Dylan Sampson, Drake May. He took Trey Benson from me. Team 11. Puka is interesting now. Stafford. Puka, I think, is starting to fall like middle of the second round or like some spots in some of these drafts now. But we'll see. I mean, he's got the epidural. They're probably resting him. They just want to make sure he's comfortable. I'm sure Stafford will get out there and, he'll be playing. But, it's not just the Stafford thing. You got Devontae Adams in the way too. So I don't know. I took Puka in one time when I had the 12th pick. I didn't feel great about it. I kind of like if Puka goes to the second round, I feel better about it. But he gets him with Genty and Hampton, the 2 rookies, Josh Allen, Devonta Smith, Caleb Johnson, so 3 rookie running backs there. And then my team in tight end premium from the 12 spot, Papa Rose Sauce, Brian Thomas. It means nothing. It's just, some fake sauce company. Brian Thomas, Trey McBride, Brees Hall. Again, tight end premium, 1.5 points per reception. Mike Evans, RJ Harvey. My first share of RJ Harvey in one of these drafts. Got to get more of them. Sam Laporta, Juwan Jennings, Jordan Mason, Keon Coleman, Tucker Kraft, Justin Fields, Roshan Johnson. Thank God Jamie's in the house. Keaton Mitchell, Trey Harris, Justin Herbert, Kendre Miller, Jalen McMillan, Pat Bryant, KC Defense, and Tyler Bass. So that is it. It's going to wrap this baby up. A couple more comments here from the guys. Mile High Luke says Big Rapids area on the west side, Traverse City, and then in the Upper Peninsula if you want to get crazy. All right, man, I'll check that out. Traverse City and Big Rapids area. Thanks, bro. Jamie says, check out my short article just dropped yesterday on Going for Two website called Fantasy Football is Better Without Kickers and Defense. I will check that out. That sounds like an interesting one, man. So definitely go check that out, guys. Going for Two website, Fantasy Football is Better Without Kickers and Defense. I kind of like it. If you're going to do kickers, do team kickers. This way you don't have to worry about the guy gets hurt, whatever. The kicker gets hurt, and then, you get the backup kicker. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you. I think, if anything, at least take kickers out. But, hey, it's part of the game, right? But I will check that out, Jamie. Everybody check that out. I think Devontae is going to be the number 1 there this year. Very possible, man. I mean, he could just come in and play bully just like he did to Garrett Wilson last year. I kind of think it's going to be like a 50-50. But it's going to be how McVay wants to set it up. I mean, he can manipulate the defenses with the way he has those guys set up in the routes. But I mean, he could do it with both those guys. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. And it's funny because, again, Stafford is so low on the totem pole as his quarterback drafts, and Adams and Puka are going so high. So it's like, Stafford probably should throw over 4,000 yards with these guys, or maybe 30 touchdowns. But I don't know. It's just hard to see because they do love to run the ball when they get down the red zone. Like Kyron is such a key piece to that offense to run the football down there. Stafford is going to light up Adams in the red zone, and that could hurt Kyron too a little bit. Adams' presence, you're right. Lots of guys I'm in on too. Nice squad. Appreciate that. Have to get Harvey or Dobbins. Agreed. What was the Roshan talk? Jamie is like probably the biggest Roshan fan out there. Known, Jamie probably been listening. He's been jumping in these chats now for like 3-4 years on the Face Off Sports Network, which I'm actually going to get back on again soon with those guys. So I'm excited about that. Jamie just sent me the article on Twitter. But anyway, the Roshan talk, Jamie loves Roshan. And I heard Drew Dinkmeyer from Establish the Run today say that it's his most, and a guy I respect, highly analytical guy and a lot of best ball and DFS success. Roshan is his number one owned running back in best ball. And again, think back to Jamal Williams when he had all those touchdowns a couple of years ago with Ben Johnson. So obviously, much better offensive line in Detroit, better quarterback play. But Roshan could be the guy. But Manungai, I don't know. He might, who the hell knows? Maybe Manungai. And I liked Roshan coming out. Hasn't looked great, but I needed to take a shot on him there. And based off all that info, I took him 50-50. Then Adams is a smash still. Yeah, agree. Because the last couple of years, like towards the end of the year, 2 years ago, he was taken away from Kupp. And then last year it showed out. Puka kind of stole the show. But that's not going to be the case with Adams. Adams, I feel like, could be like 35 and still be routing people up. I'm just worried about Roshan being inefficient with the goal line carries that Manungai may be able to seize that role. Yeah, so, and it's funny, I was listening to Caleb the other day. He actually referenced Manungai first, and then Ben Johnson also was talking about Manungai. But maybe Swift's the guy that gets out. He kind of brings something different. But, Ben Johnson shipped him off once, so we'll see. Jamie says, good draft, nice team. Yeah, if you guys hook up at the Expo, let me know. Have a great time there at the Expo. Anybody who's going to the Expo, enjoy. I'm not going to be able to get out there. Maybe next year. But, again, I got to get out to New York for one of these drafts. And I got to get to Vegas one of these years too. But we'll figure it all out. We got plenty of time. Hopefully they'll come out with a live draft in Florida soon, or maybe I'll be able to put something together. But that's it, guys. I'm gonna leave up the board. I'm gonna play some music. You guys can check out the board for a little while. Take care. Enjoy your night. See you again soon for another draft. Like, subscribe, share. Follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy.